Hello, and welcome to a little video about congruency and similarity between triangles. Now, the first thing we need to remind ourselves about geometry is we cannot assume angle measures just by looking at a picture. We cannot assume the scale of the picture. We cannot assume any side length. So just by looking let me draw myself a little triangle. So here's a triangle. I can't tell you just by looking at that thing I just drew what the angle measurements are. I can't tell you if this is twice the real size or half of the size I meant to draw it. I can't assume how long these sides are. I don't know. They're not marked. I can assume one thing. Lines are straight. If lines have bends and curves in them, it will be obvious. Well, at least there's one thing we can assume, right? Okay, now let's talk about definitions. Congruent means two shapes have the same shape and size. And the symbol we use is an equal sign with a little squiggly on top. So they're the same, but in different positions. Here's an example. So here's one triangle. I'm going to just copy and paste it. Not there. My bad. Right there. So what did I actually do? Well, I took this triangle, I moved it to the right, and I moved it up. I didn't change anything about it other than its position. So that's why it's equal with a squiggle. It's the same, but somewhere else. Similar triangles or shapes have this symbol. They don't have an equal sign, they just have a squiggle. Because what we would do here is we would take a triangle and I can draw a same shape triangle, but it's a different size. So these are similar triangles, but I changed its size. I could have rotated it. They're the same shape, but that's really about it. Oh, one thing I forgot to include, they're not just same shape, but everything is proportional in their sides, and we're going to talk about that a little later. All right. Now, incongruent triangles or shapes, we have corresponding sides and angles. That means they match up. And we match them up by looking at the shape and the way it's labeled. I think the easiest thing to do first is the angles. All right, first I see angle B. It has a half circle and one tick mark on it. Let's cover that with black so we can see it better. On the second triangle, let's write angle B is congruent to. On the second triangle, E is the one with the half circle and the line. All right, let's continue. I also have angle C with a half circle and two tick marks. On my second triangle, the one on the right, angle F has the half circle and two tick marks. We're really only left with one angle on each triangle, and that is the one that's not marked. That's angle A and angle D. They're both not marked. All right, let's go with the sides. The first side we have that is marked is BC on the left triangle. And on the right-hand triangle, it pairs up with EF. That's the side with one tick mark on it. All right, we have two sides left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the angles to kind of help me. Now, on the left-hand triangle, I have AC. I'm going to put two tick marks on it. That's between the angle with no mark and the angle with two tick marks. So on the triangle on the right, that would be right here. D has no angle, F has two tick marks. So AC is congruent to DF. And of course, our last side, here it is. It's the leftover. That one's easy to see. We have line AB congruent to That was a little ugly, but that's okay. Let's fix it. Boom. Okay. It's congruent to DE. So we have 6 things that are completely the same for congruency. Let's use that information to answer some questions. 2 triangles are congruent. Triangle DEF and KJI. Which segment is congruent to FD? Right, FD has 3 tick marks. KI has 3 tick marks. That's it. Let's go to number 2. These are also congruent, BAC and LMN. What's congruent to angle A? Well, angle A has 2 half circles. Angle M has 2 half circles. Sweet? Not bad. So congruent triangles are pretty easy to see. But what if we have 2 similar triangles? How can we find corresponding angles and sides? Well, check this out. I have TUV and GFE. I am looking for angle U. Now, I'm not really sure where it is on GFE. The easiest way to do it is by looking at the name of the triangle, TUV, and finding the angle in the letter in the same spot. So U is in the middle, F is in the middle, so these are 2 corresponding angles. Same idea for number 4. This time we have VU. So we have a VU, that's the second 2 letters, so HI. So it's this side and this side. Now, visually, maybe you can see it. Maybe you can assume it. No. No assuming. No assuming. Just looking at the names. I left this here. Okay, let's find, we have a congruent triangles, but they're not labeled. How unfortunate. But, of course, we can use the YX here to look at the name. So CX would be the congruent side. Off to number 6. They're similar. We have ED. That's the second 2 letters. So SD would be my congruent or corresponding segment. And lastly, for number 7, E and Z, that's the first and last letter. So D and G would be the corresponding segment. Okay, that is it for this first section, for this first video. If you have any questions, please let me know. And have a good rest of whatever day it is for you. Bye!